I think the biggest takeaway is the shift in our building from parental involvement to parental engagement.
Welcome to the NAESP Center for Innovative Leadership video podcast, brought to you by the National Association of Elementary School Principals.
We are your hosts and lead fellows, Jacks and Hamish Brewer, two practicing elementary and middle school principals working right alongside you.
The center is focused on sharing lessons learned from NAESP principals around the country regarding innovative practices and overcoming obstacles in our schools.
Today, our NAESP member guest is Dr. Ryan Daniel from Maryland. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
All right, so tell us, Dr. Daniel, tell us about yourself.
Well, I am a third-year principal in Prince George County Public Schools located in Maryland. I am all things Prince George County. I am a product of our county and have matriculated up, and just really excited to lead a school community. I'm a mom of 3 girls, so there's just nothing but tutus and glitter in my house. And just definitely all hands in, a very out of the box kind of leader, and just, really trying to encourage my community and my staff to just do the same.
Amazing.
Awesome. So where exactly is your school? You said Prince George's County, right?
Yes, Prince George County. I'm located in Maryland.
Maryland. So how far is that from like DC or Baltimore? Or for those
We're literally right outside of DC. My school is actually on the DC-Maryland line.
Okay.
So yeah, we really border DC.
And you're a Title I school?
I am a Title I school of high ESOL population. I'm a single administrator, so I do not have an assistant principal.
Okay.
So
All right.
distributed leadership is something that I'm really big on.
Okay.
Very small community-based school. We also are a community school, so the new structure with the Kerwin funds. So just Title I, ESOL, and our community schools.
I love it. It's going to be great for our audience today. What was your dissertation in?
So my dissertation and research was on novice teachers and looking at not what makes them leave, but what motivates them to stay. And I took a big interest in the difference between alternatively certified teachers and traditionally certified teachers, and kind of wondering if what motivates a traditionally certified teacher is the same as an alternative certified teacher.
Wonderful. That's great.
No. What's the answer though?
So they need the same things,
right.
which totally went against kind of what I went into the research with, because I had a huge bias. I'm a traditionally certified teacher, so I said, they just come, they stay for 2-3 years, and then they roll. But the same things that motivated a traditionally certified teacher was what an alternative certified teacher wanted. They definitely wanted principal support. That was the main thing, support from their principal.
Yes.
Love it.
Good. And we were just talking about that. Having bias going into research is a critical thing. So all of you researchers out there, make sure you listen to her. What you think you're going to get isn't always what you really get.
It's
right?
not always what you think.
That's right. So what's one big takeaway for today? When
I think about Chillum and just the 3 years that I've been in there, I think the biggest takeaway is the shift in our building from parental involvement to parental engagement, and really what that looks like. How do we help a community of parents? Coming from a large English language learner background, my community really, relies on our school. And they look for any type of outlets or resources that we can provide to them. And so that is the biggest thing that we've kind of done, just really shifting from involvement to engagement with our parents.
Outstanding.
All right,
let's get into your school. Let's learn about your school.
Okay. All right. And all right, look at these. All right, here we go. Chillum. Tell us about your school.
All right, so this is our Champions Creed. This was something that I brought to Chillum 3 years ago, trying to embody the mascot of a champion and like what it really means to be a champion. So we recite this every morning after the Pledge of Allegiance. I will cold call students to make sure that they know it. These are my champions. So when I first got to Chillum, I really wanted to push that college atmosphere, especially because a lot of my students did not have the opportunity to visit colleges. So we do an annual college tour where I take every champion in the building and we tour and visit 6 colleges and universities in one day.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing to see 5 and 7 and, pre-K students and third graders walking the college campuses. And each year, when you matriculate to another grade, you get to visit a different college. So by the time you promote out of 5th grade, if you came in here in pre-K, you would have gone to all 6 different colleges.
Goosebumps.
Yes.
Goosebumps.
Huge part.
Wow, that's great.
Just talking about that parental engagement, we have a lot of different activities for our parents. Of course, the usual, mom and me activities, but we also do things like a block party. So we start off and kick off the school year with the block party. What's very unique about Chillum is that we are situated within an apartment complex. And so we really have an opportunity to reach out to our parents and support our parents to kind of get them to come in. We have 2 things that we do. We call it Champion Family Night and then the Parent Academy. And so in the Parent Academy, our parents have an opportunity to learn like our champions. And then at the Family Night, they get an opportunity to showcase it. So we equip them with the skills, and then we provide them an opportunity to kind of really show that information and engage with their students.
So hold on, talk about that again. So you have one night where they're like creating, and then another night where they're like showcasing what they've created?
Yeah. So it switches every other month. And so one month we'll have a Parent Academy, and at the end of the school year, they receive almost like a degree because they have gone through the Chillum Parent Academy, and our teachers, they get in front of the parents and they teach them different things, everything from math to literacy to maybe some STEM experiments. We provide childcare services so they can really be hands-on and really have an opportunity to grasp the information. And then at the family night, we encourage participation from all of the families. So nothing is a sit and get. They are doing the activities, their centers, they're rotating around the building, and it's just really high engagement.
That's great. And so real quick questions are, I know people listening will want to see, how do you get the child care component figured out? Because I know a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah, we the staff, I have I'm very fortunate to have a lot of staff buy-in, and I also have a lot of what I call runners. If we use Ron Clark's Move Your Bus, I have a lot of runners, and they're ready to, whatever you need, Dr. Daniel, like let us know, and we're able to support. And so they are engaging the students, providing activities for them, and it's not just sit and watch a movie. Our champions, either champion students or even younger siblings, they're engaged in some type of center or an activity while their parents are in the Parent Academy.
That's great. That's great. I know a lot of people, you get so many more parents if you can help them support.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. All
right, so I think it's culture.
Yeah, so this right here was the best day ever. So we surprised our staff on Teacher Appreciation Week, and we did a pep rally for our staff, and we really try to encourage a collaborative environment. I constantly check in with my staff and, asking them, what is their hope for our school? How can we make our school better? Including everyone in the decision-making process. We do professional development for our students. I have my safety patrols, and so they receive professional development. Budget season comes up, and I not only have.
Hold on.
I'm really.
This is good. Like 3 or 4 things.
This is really good.
I'm trying to hit it all.
I mean, I completely love the fact that you talk about student professional development.
I love that.
What a great take.
And I think it looks like. Let me see if I can.
It looks professional.
Yeah, it looks like. If I backed up just a minute, look at that.
Yeah.
That looks like something. In fact, I thought that was teachers at first because it looks like a little training session.
They're engaged.
Oh, yeah. That is phenomenal. Yes. What an idea. Listeners, steal that one today.
Yeah, because when you talk about professional development or professional learning, there's a different little spin on that than you would just like like a student lesson, right?
Right.
So talk to us about that. What would be the difference on this versus just, you're working with kids on a topic or something?
So in the professional development in this picture, and just even with our safety patrols, what we did was provided them tools and resources to build their capacity in their jobs as a safety patrol. We do an application process. They have to apply. They have to give recommendation. We do interviews, and then we provide them with their professional development. So in this, we had someone from the Safety Patrol's office, and then partnering with USAA, and they come and they did a whole, professional development from how to wear your belt correctly to when you are dealing with a parent that doesn't want to walk through the crosswalk, how do you gather your team together. And I have so many safety patrols that we alternate by the weeks, and they do a big, sharing of the belt and kind of, giving some different tips to the other team that's about to go on. Like, hey, last week we had a lot of parents that had difficulties in the parking lot, so just put more safety patrols in this area rather than up by the doors.
You're really growing leadership capacity in your building too.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love this idea of teaching kids explicitly what you want from them in a proactive way, right? Don't assume that they know how to wear their belt correctly, or
absolutely.
Yeah, you can't assume that their parents are going to teach them how to do that correctly either at home, right?
Or how to navigate a difficult parent.
That's hard for a lot of
people. Just
people.
those conversations,
right.
real life skills that they're going to use in real life. That's fantastic.
Very authentic.
Great job.
Learning. Yeah.
I like that professional development idea.
Yeah, I even like framing it, like the way it look and feels is a little bit different.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's great. So let's get back into the video.
With that, we also do learning walks within our building. So we often find the need, do learning walks with our champion teachers. We also allow, right now it's budget season. And so not only do we do the typical, I gauge information from parents, I gauge information from the staff, but I also do budget meetings with my students. And I ask them what they would like to see the budget be used for the next school year.
You're tackling something we have not come across yet in our podcast.
We talked a lot about student leadership, but not in that capacity.
That is phenomenal. Like, tell us a question tell us what a question and then what a solution or answer would be from the students and you with budget. I think
so for this year, what I did is I was telling them the difference between discretionary funds and our staffing. So in Prince George County Public Schools, we use student-based budgeting. So principals have the autonomy to essentially budget for their entire building. And so what I did was I gave them 6 different items, and I asked them to choose what should be our priority for next school year. And so there was student field trips, after school programs, tutoring, student supplies, teacher supplies, and they had to choose one with the group. I mixed the group up. I used 4th and 5th grade students, and I mixed the groups up. The teachers got to work with different students as well. And they had to come up with 3 different reasons why their choice was what I should focus on for next school year with the budget. And what was kind of the hottest was student field trips. And a lot of the reasons were, their parents do not have the means to provide or take them places. And so they want the school to be able to provide additional field trips for them. And the other one was extracurricular activities. And they also mentioned that in our neighborhood and where we're located, there's not a lot of clubs and sports available for our students, or the parents are not comfortable sending them to somewhere else, and they're more comfortable with them staying after school at school. And so those were the 2 hottest this year for the champions.
That's awesome. Hey, just quickly, give your staff a shout out. What a great looking squad. Look at
Oh my God, hands down, the best staff in the world. I have never worked with so many dedicated and passionate and talented champions. So to my champions, I love you all from the bottom of my heart, and I appreciate all that you do for our community.
We appreciate them too.
That's awesome. That is great. So you talked about involvement versus engagement, and you shared some examples. So, as a second section, what would you recommend for principals that struggle in that area? Because that is something we come across. People do a lot of activities, but they don't always get great engagement in relationships. So
and you obviously have engagement.
Right.
So one of the things that I do is I talk to my parents. You know, I have conversations with them. You know, in the morning, my post is right there in the main office and just watching them as they're coming in. So I'm just asking what their needs are. I'm kind of keeping a pulse. And so I would definitely recommend any principal to really have conversations with your parents, do focus groups, do informal conversations, go beyond the typical needs assessment and have real life conversations with them. And that'll give you an opportunity to see what their needs are. I also walk around our community. You know, I would do a home visit, you know, just kind of really seeing what some of the resources that they need. And then I also talk to the students, because the students will let you know, hey, Dr. Daniel, I'm not really able to do my homework at home because my parents don't really understand the language. You know, they don't understand the work. You know, is there some way that you can support them with that? And so I definitely, the increase of communication and really involving them in the conversation around what they need.
Well, so one thing I connect with you, and I think that's how so many people connect with certain things they're saying to what they're also doing or thinking about or struggling with, is this idea of don't just give them a basic, like, you know, like you said, needs assessment or something. There's more to it. Sometimes you have to dig deeper, you know, and then you get to like the real stuff that's behind that, that they really need. Because if you can provide something they need, then they keep coming back to you for more.
They keep coming back.
Don't assume you know what they need. I love it. Exactly. You're an amazing example of servant leadership, of a community leader, somebody owning the job, owning the principle, getting real results, real work done. We thank you for being on the podcast today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're doing great work out there. Prince George should be really proud of you. I know you're doing great work for kids. All your champion teachers and staff.
Champions.
Love it. Home of the champions.
That's right. So one last thought for the group.
I encourage every school leader to constantly take a pulse of your building and really be a visible and hands-on leader. You cannot lead from your office. You have to be in the work with your students, with your staff, and with your community.
Right. Preaching the choir right
That's
there.
Right.
I love
That's
it.
The truth.
I love it.
That's
Perfect.
the truth.
All right. So how can we find you online?
So you can follow me on Twitter at Hey Dr. Daniel. I am also on Instagram at Hey Dr. Daniel as well.
All right.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for being on the show today. Look, folks, don't forget to visit us online at the www.nasp.org/CIL to share with your school with us and see past interviews with amazing leaders across the country.
That's right, everybody. Don't forget to don't stagnate.
Innovate.